I thank the ranking member for yielding, and I also want to say a thank you to all of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee on both sides of the aisle, and in particular I want to shout out Jennifer Chartrand, Jason Gray, and Ed Etzkorn. Through this bill, we have the solemn responsibility of appropriating the funds necessary to defend our nation and to protect the safety and well-being of our men and women in uniform. But I must oppose this bill, which abandons our allies, damages our military readiness, and promotes divisive policies that undermine morale. I come from a defense-dependent state. I understand the importance of the investments we make in our nation's defense. We must always work to ensure our service members have the best possible equipment to defend our nation. I am proud that the American-made Black Hawk helicopters, the best helicopters in the world, are made by Sikorsky Aircraft in Stratford, Connecticut, in my district. I'm also proud that Pratt & Whitney produces the F-135 engine, the power plant for the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter in my district. The highly skilled workers at this plant are critical for our defense industrial base, and the rising cost of living is making it harder for them to make ends meet. These workers bring immense value to Pratt & Whitney, to Connecticut, and to our national security, and they recently fought for their value to be recognized. I proudly joined them on the picket line, and while I am pleased that Pratt & Whitney and the union representing the facility's workers have agreed on a contract, Congress must do more to address the cost of living. The cost of living crisis is felt by every American family, and it has a direct effect on our military readiness and capabilities. Instead of addressing the cost of living, President Trump and the Republicans are only making it worse. Safety net programs and other basic services have been attacked by the administration and defunded in the Republicans' big, ugly bill. I said this to Secretary Hegseth in our hearing last month. America's future service members are learning in our public schools. They might rely on Medicaid to see a doctor. They may only have a meal to eat because of WIC or food stamps, or they may live in subsidized housing. If tomorrow's service members are worried today about having their most basic needs met, then they are being held back from their fullest potential, and that weakens our national security. In the bill before us, rather than working with House Democrats to strengthen our national security and prioritize the issues that matter most to our men and women in uniform, House Republicans are abandoning our allies, undermining democracy at home and abroad, and failing to support our service members. Despite broad support in Congress for helping Ukraine defend itself against Russia's brutal invasion, they empower Putin by failing to include $300 million for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. The majority's bills holds the door open for disinformation created by America's enemies rather than allowing the Department of Defense to counter the threat, allowing extremism and propaganda to proliferate across the internet and media landscape. The bill continues House Republicans' attacks on the right of women to seek an abortion and the rights of minorities to be protected from discrimination, while destroying the department's efforts to build a more inclusive, effective, and modern military. And the bill weakens the department by continuing the administration's reckless and indiscriminate cuts to vital civilian personnel and yielding to DOGE and Elon Musk. In further conceding Congress's prerogative over funding the Department of Defense to DOGE, the majority directs the department to find nearly $8 billion in undetermined cuts, and everything from military health care to troops' pay and operations accounts potentially facing reductions to the detriment of our readiness and to service members and military families' quality of life. Instead of focusing on how to keep the American people safe and improve the quality of life for members of our armed forces, House Republicans' bill undermines readiness and abandons our allies. I cannot support this bill, and I urge my colleagues to vote no. I thank you, and I yield back.